see another day. I'm gonna do this. You're not gonna do nothing. What you're gonna do is get yourself in trouble, put yourself and your family in harm's way when you don't have to. Just play basketball.
This is the problem with the African American community, right? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it to get applaud, to get a nod, to say, oh yeah, man, you know what? He a real one. He a real one. He keep it real. Keep it real for who? You work your entire life to get out of a situation that you was in, to provide a better life for yourself, to secure your future, to secure your kids' future, your kids' future, to get to this point.
Oh boy, you hate to see it go down for Ja Morant in this manner. A bright young star with an incredible future ahead of him, and all he has to do is play basketball. Unfortunately for Ja, he found himself making a plethora of bad decisions that he only has himself to blame. It's almost as if my video sending Ja Morant a warning on making better decisions became hauntingly true a little bit quicker than I would like to see. Unfortunately, I must provide an update on the situation that has become very serious, not only for Ja Morant, but his teammates, the NBA, and his family as well. Friday, March 3rd, after a loss to the Denver Nuggets, Ja took to his Instagram live to show how much fun he was having at a club. Unfortunately, in this video, he made a mistake that will have huge implications for his team this year, his career going forward, and potentially the longevity of his NBA career. After showing a firearm on the internet, of course, the internet does what they do, and they voice their disapproval about the concerning behavior. Everybody from NBA stars, NBA media, and of course, there were a bunch of memes on the situation as well. However, at the time of me making this video, Ja is not only under investigation with the NBA, but cops are investigating this situation as well. This was reported by TMZ at the time of me writing this. So I want to answer a few questions because I saw many people who didn't understand the severity of the situation. While yes, it is perfectly legal for Ja Morant to exercise his Second Amendment, his employer may look at the situation entirely different. As of now, the NBA rules state the following. Whenever a player is physically present at a facility, venue, owned or operated, or being used by a team, the NBA, or any league-related entity, and whenever a player is traveling on any NBA-related business, whether on behalf of the player's team, the NBA, or any league-related entity, such players shall not possess a firearm of any kind or any other deadly weapon. For purposes of the foregoing, a facility or venue includes but is not limited to an arena, a practice facility, a team or league office or facility, an all-star or NBA playoff venue, and the site of promotional or charitable appearance at the commencement of each season. And if the player owns or possesses any firearm, the player will provide the team with proof that the player possesses a license or registration as required by law for any such firearm. Each player is also required to provide the team with proof of any modifications or additions made to this information during the season, which means in an away game, Ja Morant more than likely would have had to have this firearm present, not only on the team playing, but the Denver Nuggets arena or any training facility that they have visited as well, which, as we just read, is not aligned with league regulations. And as a small reminder, Gilbert Arenas served a year-long suspension after bringing a firearm into the locker room in 2009. So if we have anything to go off of, this would be the situation that we can compare to see what Ja is potentially facing. And also, I do want to bring up the Plaxico Burress situation. This was a wide receiver for the Steelers who had a gun discharge and injured himself. He served a 2-year prison sentence as well as a 20-game suspension with the NFL, which means, yeah, what Ja's facing right now is pretty serious. And it really has nothing to do with the fact that he's exercising his Second Amendment right, but following the rules of his employer and the open or concealed carry laws in the state which he's currently in. Now, while Colorado is a gun-friendly state, I took some time to research their gun laws. It's perfectly legal to own a gun and even open carry, but that is not the case in every county or city in Colorado. And also public places, that's a different question entirely. I even saw a few comments that tried to make this an issue about race. As a black man, this wouldn't happen. I can confirm 100% that it's not about that. Everything Ja did, he did on his own accord. No one made him throw up gang signs. No one made him show the gun in the video or made him get into a conversation confrontation with a mall security guard or a 17-year-old. He did these all on his own accord. Now, with that being said, the NBA must protect its image. It's a billion-dollar entity, and they have these rules in place for a reason, to protect its assets, which are its players, its image, and brand. When you are a star as big as Ja, a move like this has serious implications. So, what exactly are those implications? Well, unfortunately, I think the NBA is going to throw the book at Ja Morant. In any case like this, the NBA will want to make an example of the player to prevent any further incidents like this. So I can definitely see Ja Morant being suspended for the remainder of the season, if not more, which puts the Grizzlies' entire season and hard work at risk. And it sucks for the rest of his teammates because they were a 2 seed in the West, which is not easy, and they worked hard to get to this point. And the Western Conference is stacked. So if Ja's gone for the rest of the season, they're not going to have much playoff success or be fine in the West like Ja mentioned, right? So what else does he have to lose? Not to mention his brand deals could be in jeopardy. Powerade just launched a new campaign with Ja Morant last week, and they haven't had an NBA sponsor in a long time. Nike just released a signature shoe after dropping Kyrie, and Ja is expected to represent Team USA next year to win a gold medal. So there's undoubtedly a lot on the line. My only thing is, none of this had to happen the way that it did. Ja Morant received plenty of warnings from the likes of Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and other media personalities, but the information wasn't accepted until it was all too late. And now Ja finds himself in a situation which will unfortunately leave a permanent mark on his image. Where I personally have a problem with this is when you behave like this, you invite a host of issues to yourself, especially as a black man. Our culture is broken in a sense of people feel pressure to act like this, to have a sense of validation from people who don't even matter and don't understand the larger picture. I mean, look at it from this perspective. How many artists have we lost over the last few years due to senseless gun violence or being in the wrong place at the wrong time? I'm honestly sick of tuning into the news to see sad stories of my people losing their biggest stars, and most recent memory, we lost Takeoff in Houston. And when you flash a gun with no purpose and you throw up gang signs as a millionaire NBA player, you have to ask the question, why? Why am I doing this? Who am I being validated by? There are people out here who will try to test you to see if you're really about the life that you sell on the internet. Not only that, it's a very poor representation of what our community represents and a terrible example for the generations to come after us. While I am happy Ja Morant took responsibilities for his actions and it shows a level of maturity, I think this was a wake-up call he needed to see just how serious his actions are. I mean, this is the third incident we've had with Ja Morant in his circle brandishing a firearm, from the incident with the 17-year-old, the incident with the Indiana Pacers staff, and now this. But it also makes me question, what was the NBA doing and why didn't it get involved a lot sooner? I know Windhorst said that Ja Morant has always been under investigation because the NBA was very concerned about his actions, but I just felt like this could have been prevented if they stepped in a little bit sooner. His fans have been worried. He's been showing red flags for a few months now. But lastly, we're all concerned for Ja Morant. We all want the best for Ja Morant. So I hope he definitely uses this as a learning matter, as well as other young NBA stars that are going to come into the league. Please focus on professionalism, focus on basketball. Until next time, this has been another episode with No Time to Explain.